March is such an exciting time in my guild garden. Everything is waking up, but there is still plenty to do to set the garden up for success. So in this video, I'm taking you through my key tasks that I'm doing right now, from pruning fruit trees to planting pest-resilient herbs. So whether you've got your own fruit tree guild already, or if you'd like to have your own, or if you just have a vegetable garden, now is the time to act. Hey everyone, how's it going and welcome back. This was my vegetable garden, but now it's my guild garden, a polyculture garden filled with fruit tree guilds. That gives me fruit, vegetables and flowers that support nature and biodiversity while also being productive. Since I changed it across from a regular vegetable garden, I have not looked back, truly. It's a guild garden because each raised bed here is its own individual fruit tree guild. A fruit tree interplanted with 6 specific plant groups that work as a mini ecosystem, supporting each other and, most importantly, the fruit tree at the centre. I've totally fallen for this way of growing and it's surprisingly easy to maintain. So here's what I'm doing this month and what you can do this month in March. Will we get stuck in? Right, first up, it is now or never for pruning my miniature fruit trees. This wouldn't be a fruit tree guild without a fruit tree at the centre of it. And I've actually got 16 miniature fruit trees here, a mix of apples, pears, cherries, plums and gauges. Now that might sound like a lot of work, but since the trees are small now and they're going to stay relatively small, caring for them is actually really easy and fun. At this time of year, the sap is rising and the buds are starting to swell. And before you know it, your fruit trees are going to be in full-on growth mode. And once that happens, heavy pruning can really stress the tree. It can lead to weak or excessive growth instead of producing nice, strong, productive branches and fruit. So what I like to do is use early March as my very final chance to get in there with the secateurs and get any final winter pruning done before it's too late. It's all about removing any dead, damaged, diseased or crossing branches, but also making sure that, can you see, the structure is nice and open and airy, because good airflow equals less risk of fungal issues later in the season. For these fruit trees, I'm focusing on controlling their size while also making sure that I keep enough fruiting spurs so that I get a nice good crop and they're going to continue to be productive. Now, since the trees are young, they're only about 3 years old, pruning is about establishing the right form so that they're going to mature into nice, well-balanced trees. If you look at this one, you can see that I'm aiming to make the canopy a nice open goblet shape with the main branches radiating out, almost like the spokes of a wheel or an umbrella. Quick tip, always prune above an outward-facing bud. This then directs the energy into the right shape rather than causing inward growth that all it's going to do is lead to congestion that you have to cut out later. So if you haven't pruned your fruit trees now, get out there before it is too late, because we're getting tight on time. This small job makes such a big difference for the future. If you're wondering where to start with fruit tree guilds, I have got some great starter videos that explain both the concept and the building blocks so that you can have success with them in your own garden. All you need to do is click the link up here or follow the link down below. Isn't that right, Peggy? You can go and enjoy them and get even more background information. This is one of my favourite jobs because it means that my guild plants are coming back to life. In my guild garden, I use plants that act as accumulators, suppressors and mulchers. Basically, those are plants that feed the soil, suppress the weeds and provide natural mulch for the soil here. Now, right now, I can see that my comfrey, my rhubarb, my fennel and the achillea, the yarrow, are all starting to spring back into life. Comfrey is a powerhouse of an accumulator. It pulls nutrients up from deep in the soil, and I use it later in the year, then by mulching the leaves or using the leaves to make liquid feeds. Right now, comfrey needs no extra attention other than to check if it's coming back to life and make sure to mark its location so that I don't accidentally damage it. Rhubarb is a great all-rounder. It's an edible, but in a fruit tree guild, it's also brilliant at suppressing weeds with those big shade-casting leaves. If you haven't yet, you can give your rhubarb a nice mulch of compost for a real treat. And if your rhubarb is only just emerging, you can force it. That's what this is for. This is a rhubarb forcer. What this is it blocks the light, causing the rhubarb stems to stretch like a big leggy seedling. That creates incredibly tender, sweet stems. Yum. Now, do you want a really sneaky look? Oh, look at that. They're looking really good. Excellent. Now, fennel or the yarrow, these are fantastic at drawing up nutrients while also attracting beneficial insects. But you might notice that during the winter, I leave these plants completely untouched all the way through that winter. And that's because these structures provide brilliant places for insects to shelter and for birds to eat the seeds from. So around now is when I start to cut all of this back away to reveal the nice fresh growth. Overall though, spring is the ideal time to divide all of these plants before they get too established for the year. All I'll simply do is dig up a clump with a spade, split it apart, and then replant the divisions so I have more plants, or even pot them up if I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with them. By doing this now, I get free plants, I keep everything in check, and I ensure that they remain productive before the bed starts getting overcrowded and the plants start getting overcrowded. If you grow accumulators, suppressors or mulchers, now is the time to give them a nice bit of a refresh to boost your plant numbers and boost the vitality of the plants that you have. Nothing brings a fruit tree guild to life, well, aside from the fruit tree, like great attractor plants. And right now, that's what I'm working on. I'm sowing seeds for some of the best pollinator-friendly flowers out there, and I grow them every year. Things like cornflowers, cerinthe, known as honeywort, or calendula, pot marigold. All of these things draw in beneficial insects, which is just so important. I'm also planting up and ordering more of these bare root perennial flowers. They serve the same role, but things like heleniums, astrantia, agastache, they're fantastic. And in fact, one of my true faves is actually growing just down here. This is Monarda or bee balm. It has these really mad magenta red flowers that look a bit like gesture hats. Insects go wild for them. And these perennial plants are not only just going to attract pollinators and bees and hoverflies and things like that, but they're also going to give you a nice long-lasting display throughout the season. And best of all, I don't have to go through all the rigmarole in the process of sowing and potting on and pricking out and planting out. I just get to enjoy them year after year. Attractors are a key part of any fruit tree guild because they bring in the workers, those insects that are going to keep your ecosystem thriving. Without them, you're going to be relying purely on wind pollination or manual pollination for your fruit trees and everything else, which is nowhere near as effective unless you know how to do it very well. And let's face it, the environment needs these little guys to function, so you're contributing back to nature. If you haven't already, now is the time to start sowing some really nice nectar-rich flowers and making space for longer-term perennials that are going to keep your guild buzzing with life. Guild gardening isn't just about attracting beneficial insects into the garden, it's also about managing and keeping pests at bay. Over the last few weeks, I've been planting up more of these. These are my Babington leeks, and I've been growing them from last year's bulbils. They're in pots, and now they can get planted out, and I'm starting to get them into the ground. These are brilliant because they repel pests while also producing a really tasty, edible, and year after year perennial crop. At the same time, I'm also growing more chives from seed, garlic chives from seed, alliums, ornamental, and things like more types of garlic and onions. Not only are they great for cooking, but their strong onion scent can deter aphids, carrot root fly, and more. When it comes to flowers, I'm also sowing tagetes or French marigolds. These are one of the best pest-repelling flowers out there. Plus, they just look great. Every fruit tree guild should have a really good mix of repellents because preventing pests is always so much easier than having to deal with the infestation once they're there. If you're setting up your guild garden for success, make sure that you have got plenty of strong scented alliums and pest repelling flowers in your mix. You're not going to regret it. Aren't these cute? one of the most exciting things that I'm seeing right now, seeing my fixer plants waking up. Right now, my lupins are springing up, popping up back into life. These are brilliant nitrogen fixers, and what a nitrogen fixer does is it pulls nitrogen in from the air and it naturally then disperses that and feeds it into the soil. These plants develop little nodules on their roots that contain that nitrogen, and ultimately that's what breaks down and benefits the soil. If you want healthy fruit trees, having good nitrogen fixers in this mix is really pretty much essential. But they don't just have to be things like lupins. Anything that's a legume is going to work. Broad beans that I sowed recently, they're going to do very nicely. And to keep the cycle going, I've also just sown a couple of big gutters of peas, another great nitrogen fixer that's going to improve the soil health while giving me a crop later in the season. So you can see how loads of plants just work great in a guild garden. And what's even better is they tick more than one box. For instance, they might be an edible that fixes nitrogen like a pea or a bean, or a repellent that's also a handy crop like chives. Beyond planting, I'm also focusing on some key March maintenance. Removing weeds before they take hold. Well, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago in a different video, and I think it's fair to say that in some of the beds here, they have taken hold, so please don't judge me. Once the ground's clear like that, giving it a nice deep mulch with some really good compost is going to feed the soil and further suppress weeds. And finally, cutting any dead plant material back that I've left for overwintering insects. Things like this yarrow, all of this material can now get removed and get composted. March is about getting everything in order before that mad rush of the growing season really kicks in. By weeding, mulching, pruning, clipping back now, as well as all of the usual sowing and growing, I'm getting my guild garden set up for what I hope is going to be a really nice, strong, productive year. That's what's happening in my guild garden this March, from pruning fruit trees to dividing perennials and sowing essential plants. This is the perfect time to get yourself set up for a really thriving growing season. And if you're looking for more great March gardening how-tos, what to sow videos and gardening inspiration, here is a March playlist that I've made just for you. And until next time, see you later.